I don't know if that's a belt or what, but just getting a little bit of noise as I put my foot down, driving it, and the sound kind of dies down as I let off. And of course, it's not driving straight now. But cruise control works. And that does sound like a squeaky serpentine belt or something like that. I'm not 100%, but I mean, other than it not necessarily driving straight, maybe it needs an alignment, maybe there's suspension work that needs done, but the ride is actually really, really good compared to what I was expecting. It's just kind of floating down the road. And the brake pedal is very, very strong initially. Almost touchy. And all the gauges seem to be working properly. Like I said, that sound, I couldn't tell you what that is, but it did start when I started the vehicle too, and it was just idling. It just wasn't as loud. And speaking of loud, I do have to kind of yell in the cabin, but it's mostly due to that belt. As I'm coasting here, it's really not a big deal. Pretty standard sound acoustics, even compared to what I'm used to in newer vehicles. And I will say the tire noise is very unnoticeable. So that's good. And the suspension seems decent. In terms of taking bumps, nothing scary. But especially for a 2004, whoever had this definitely kept it in good shape. It's driving well. But as these vehicles get older, it just, certain things just aren't right, and you really can't get them right. Or if you can, it's not worth the money. But I mean, driving relatively well. Tad bouncy, the ride quality is in general, but not uncomfortable in the least. And what's crazy is the vehicle, other than the sound that it was making, see if I can get to do it again. Yeah, other than that sound under acceleration, really drives like new. Not hearing any other crazy noises. Like I said, drives just really well. Now these were known to be thirsty as well, but in 2004, wasn't really a big deal. But yeah, just a really comfortable ride. Not much to say about this. I mean, it's a 2004 Ford Explorer, so it's nothing out of the ordinary, but this also drives like a 2004 Explorer in a good way. It's still, like I said, it drives like new, but it's not like anything crazy. I feel like I'm just in a normal older vehicle, as opposed to being in a, let's say, a new Camry or something like that. And you're like, oh, this ride feels good, but it's also not fill in the blank. Like this just, it's just driving. But these weren't meant to have the best ride, especially compared to what we have now. Not a lot of crazy safety features or anything like that. And it goes, it's not fast, it's not slow. It's just adequate. But like I said, the biggest thing for me is, with this being an older vehicle, not a lot of stuff is in your way. We're not trying to have slanted roof lines and all that. Just very spacious. And the acceleration is not bad, actually. Now I will say, coming down the interstate here, with the bigger tires and the smaller wheels, a really just float down the interstate like ride here. Very impressed. ever so slightly coasting down here. And then as I pick up speed, it just gets a bit harsher. But for the most part, I mean, I'm doing 75, nothing crazy going on here. It's driving really nicely. Getting picked up by the wind just a little bit. But all in all, not for a 2004, like I said, for a Ford Explorer at that, not crazy wind noise. I've been in new Broncos that have more wind noise than this does. So definitely nothing to be ashamed of. And as you can hear, like I said, the road noise is very, very good. But it might be because everything else is so loud. But for me, it's just a good sound quality for that. And the AC is blowing ice cold. I like that. And it's just really nothing out of the ordinary here other than that squeaking I'm getting from the front, which is probably an easy fix. Because, I mean, vehicles get old, and as they get old, you have to start replacing parts or doing this or doing that. But, I mean, for a 2004 Ford Explorer with this kind of mileage, I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to drive this anywhere, really. Of course, I want to have it checked out, but, I mean, like I said, brakes seem to be fine. Steering seems like it might need a slight alignment, maybe a ball joint or something, I don't know. But it's just driving normally, no issues. I mean, the air is working, cruise control is working, so it's ready for a road trip. And with all that being said, this is going to bring me to an end of my review of the 2004 Ford Explorer XLS.